And I previously reviewed the REDTIGER F7N 4K dashcam. If you have not seen that full review video, I'll put a link to that in the description below. On this video, I'm going to show you the app, all of its features, and my best recommended settings for it. Welcome back to the channel, guys, where I review cool car gadgets and other accessories. As always, I like to remind you that I place a link to this dashcam in the description if you want to look at it further or acquire one for yourself. But with that being said, let's get started. What's interesting about the REDTIGER F7N is that there are two versions of it. One uses one app and the other uses a different app. So how do I know which is the right app to download? Well, if I go on the user manual for my F7N, we can find out in the app section. This particular F7N uses the dashcam app called UCam. On your manual, you may find that it says UCam or you may find that it says REDTIGER, and we want to download the one that they are telling us on the manual. But the second way to know which is the right app for your F7N is by going into the menu by pressing the center button and then pressing down. I'm going to press down. I'm going to keep going until I see app, and then I'm going to hit OK. You'll notice that now we have a QR barcode that we can scan with our phone, and it's going to take us to the right app to download. But if we decide not to use the QR code, we can just search for the app right here by name. And here I have searched for UCam, and I'll show you what that icon looks like. That is if we need the UCam app. However, we can also search for the secondary one, which is REDTIGER. But now that we downloaded the app on our phone, we have to activate the Wi-Fi on this dashcam. And there's two ways of doing it. The long way is by going to this button right here, the center button, and pressing that one so we can get access to the menu, and then pressing down until we get to Wi-Fi. Once we get to Wi-Fi, we're going to hit the center button because that's okay. And then we're going to change this to on. I'm going to hit OK one more time. At this point, you can see that the Wi-Fi has kicked on, and we're going to have the Wi-Fi sign-in information, both the name of the Wi-Fi and the password for the Wi-Fi. But I also want to show you the short way to turn on the Wi-Fi, and that is with the top button. If I press that top button and hold it, now notice how I'm holding it down, the Wi-Fi kicks on, and again we have the same information, the name of the Wi-Fi and the password of the Wi-Fi. So this is the shorter and my preferred way to access the Wi-Fi. And if I want to turn the Wi-Fi off, I can also press and hold that button down, and the Wi-Fi will turn off. And now that we turn on the Wi-Fi on the dashcam, I'm going to go ahead and open up the UCam app, and I'm going to touch please connect to DVR. Now if the dashcam has previously been connected and I'm just returning to the app will automatically connect to it. Since this is the first time I'm connecting to it, I'm going to go ahead and click go connect, and it's going to show me the available Wi-Fi. So we know this is the Wi-Fi for the dashcam. I'm going to go ahead and click on that and click connect. Once the phone has connected to the dashcam, I can go back to the app, and the app will load the dashcam, which as you can see is a live view of the front camera, which is pretty neat. But also we can see the rear camera as well. We can change the camera angle by pressing on this little icon, and this is the rear camera. If I press that one more time, it returns back to the front camera with the rear camera in a smaller frame, which is pretty neat to have a live view of both the front and the back. Now this is not a live streaming dashcam, but you could technically see a live view if you wanted to, and you could also maximize the view if you wanted to by pressing the maximize icon right here, and that is gonna make it bigger. And again, we can change views by pressing this camera icon. If I press that icon, we can see the front view. If I press that icon one more time, it's gonna switch to the rear view, and if I press that icon one more time, it's gonna bring that overlapping view where we have the front and the rear in a smaller picture. But we also have two large icons in the bottom. If we press the icon on the right hand side, we take in a picture of whatever is being recorded, which is pretty neat. And the icon on the left allows us to see the pictures and videos that we have taken with this dashcam, and it is going to remind us that we have to stop recording in order for us to see the videos or pictures. And what you'll see is that they have arranged them into three different folders: normal, event, and photo. The normal folder contains regular video files. There's probably not going to be anything in there like car crashes. Anything that has been detected as a car crash by the dashcam is going to be saved on the event folder. And then we have the photo folder where we have the photos that we have taken. Now, if we decided to delete a specific file, we can hit delete, we can select the file, and we can delete it. Also, we can download a specific file to our phone, and that's also going to download a higher quality video than trying to play it directly off the dashcam. But if you wanted to play it off the dashcam, you definitely can. It's just going to be a little bit lower quality because it's streaming directly from the dashcam as opposed to downloading it. But I'm going to go ahead and hit ignore in there, and you can see that we're playing the video. Obviously nothing happened in there except me recording right now, and we can go back to the main menu by pressing this little arrow. And to access the dashcam settings, there's a little gear icon, and pressing that again is going to remind us to change the settings. We have to stop recording. First off, we can see that we have a Wi-Fi name that we can change to whatever we want, including the password. We can change that and customize that from the default one. Moving over to video resolution, as you can see right now we are recording at 2160 for the front and 1080 for the rear. We can also downgrade to 1440 in the front or 1080 in the rear. Loop recording. All dashcams record in loop recording, which means that they record continuously, but they segment the video into smaller, manageable chunks. And here we can select between 1 minute, 3 minutes, or 5 minutes in terms of how big that chunk of video will be. There is no incorrect setting on here, it's just a matter of preference, but I personally like to have 3 minutes. I think that's a nice number where I don't end up with too many files. Audio recording. We can choose whether we want the dashcam to not record audio or record audio. I recommend always recording the audio. I think it's important to have that information. Date watermark. This is the information that's shown on the bottom of your video that has been recorded. You can choose to turn that off if you just want to have video, but I like to have it on so I can have the video and the overlay to show proof of when it was being recorded. G-sensor sensitivity. This dashcam has the ability to tell when you got into a car crash if you turn this sensor on. We can turn it off, or we can have it in low, or we can have it in medium, or we can have it in high. And this is how sensitive this dashcam is going to be to detecting a car crash. If I set this too high, I notice that every time I close the door or a car with a loud exhaust passes by, the dashcam gets triggered and thinks I got into a car crash. So I normally run mine on low, but I recommend experimenting with your vehicle because they all seem to vary in terms of how much sensitivity you want to run it at. We can also change the language between the following languages that they have included. I'm going to leave mine in English. Moving over to parking monitor, which allows us to monitor our vehicle when the vehicle is parked and we're away from it. Now we can turn this setting on, but in order for us to get the functionality of this, the dashcam has to be hardwired. If it is hardwired, we can decide to turn it on in two ways. We can have it set as a G sensor where it detects when the car gets hit and begins to record, or we can have it to record a time lapse, and we can set the length of that time lapse. For example, we can compress 24 hours of recording into a small video so we can see the entire duration of a full day or an entire duration of 2 full days. I normally do not use time lapse. When I hardwire my dashcams, I normally leave them to G sensor. Format SD card. This option allows us to erase all the videos at once, blank out the memory card in one shot. This is also recommended when you install a brand new memory card on the dashcam. And finally, we have default setting. If for some reason we change something in this dashcam and we don't know how to return it back to its normal, we can click default setting, hit OK, and the dashcam is going to return to how it was when we originally bought it. And the last thing we can see on this menu is the firmware version, which is the current software that this dashcam is currently running. And now that we're done setting up the dashcam, we can return to the main menu with this little arrow. But the last thing I want to show you is that if we are away from the dashcam but we have previously downloaded a video to the app, we can hit local album, and we'll have the same folders, normal, event, and photo that we saw earlier, where we will have the videos that we have downloaded. You're probably gonna play them directly off your phone as opposed to going into the app, but you could go into the app and play them through here. But here's a bonus tip. There are additional advanced options inside of About app. You're probably not gonna go in here because there are advanced options, but you do have a small help user guide, and here you can change things like which is the default media player to use. I always leave that in the default, and you can also select which map to use. I don't change this, I always leave that in auto. And if this video helped you to use the REDTIGER F7 app, make sure you hit the thumbs up button to support the channel. If you have any other questions regarding the app for this dashcam, please put that in the comments down below, and stay tuned as I have a lot more dashcam videos coming up. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.